Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to meet you all in this beautiful day. Thank you for your coming to our group presentation. Let us introduce ourselves. I am Aruni Prayastuti, and next to me are Niken Dewayana, Rahadian PD, Christine Jesaya, Rahayu Iria Janti, Devi Revita Anggreni, Ivan Sudarso, and Olga Azahra. We are here on behalf of our team, Nupan Yuryas. In this opportunity, we would like to present our research paper entitled Sumedang Melesat, Reaprraising Digital Governance in Public Services Delivery. Government investment in public sector information systems is often associated with organizational transformation designed to improve policy effectiveness and efficiency. In this context, ICT in the public sector is deployed to pursue a set of ideas and practices that regulate the use of business and private sector approaches in the public sector to improve organizational efficiency and effectiveness and thus reduce bureaucratic burdens. This article challenges the view that public sector ICTs are primarily designed to reduce the scope of public administration as its author suggested it inspired e-government policies from the thought of the new public management. The paper presents empirical evidence that ICTs can enable alternative organizational solutions to make public sector organizations more efficient by supporting bureaucratic coordination. Due to the increasing areas of public sector intervention as a consequence of the expansion of the welfare state, the need for integration within public administration has increased. Deeper integration has increased the need to produce and exchange information between citizens and public administration, and between different public administration branch to provide public services. It has overloaded the bureaucracy with information that now needs to be processed to provide the services a more pervasive welfare state must serve. These failures have generated a wave of legitimate criticism against public sector administration and their ability to fulfill their mandate to provide effective and efficient service. Although these criticisms are raised and justified by the value of bureaucracies to provide public services, the solution to eliminating bureaucracy is not necessarily the best solution for the state and the public. Bureaucratic organizations that apply organizational principles provide two sets of positive values. ICT adoption in the public sector is often driven by a tunnel vision that favors non-bureaucratic organizational arrangement over whether ICT can improve the capabilities of public administration in delivering services efficiently by leveraging the capacity of bureaucracies to fulfill their duties or fail to fulfill the overarching goals of equity and to organize effectively and efficiently. Instead, because of this last point, Cordella suggests rethinking the role of ICTs in the public sector reform and proposes to treat ICTs as a tool to support bureaucratic organizations rather than as a remove them. ICT has been designed and implemented to provide adequate and appropriate tools and solutions to effectively support bureaucratic organizations. Office software, database management system, workflow management system, automated decision support systems, and more recently web services, online services, and cloud sharing system clouds are some examples of technology solutions designed to make bureaucratic organizations more efficient by integrating them into the ICT system. Some degree of control and standardization of bureaucratic process, more efficient, effective, and transparent monitoring and control mechanism implemented by ICT technology can truly prove to be a valuable solution for the design and implementation of more functional bureaucratic organization, increasing and the uniformity and predictability of administrative procedure and their conformity with regulatory and legal framework governing each administrative apparatus of the public sector. In this context, ICT can power the function that bureaucratic organizations need to carry out their routine tasks and to increase the flexibility and agility of the organization to meet with changing environmental conditions. This organization must also overcome information processing challenges associated with expanding the reach of public intervention. The increasing complexity and uncertainty of the sector are why public sector administration need to share and process more information, exacerbating the fact that they are becoming less effective and ineffective without appropriate action. Organization become less effective and ineffective that can harness ICT to support bureaucratic process to overcome these challenges are good examples of the administration. Therefore, e-bureaucracy is recommended as an e-government policy that contributes to improving the effectiveness and efficiency of public administration activities while reinforcing bureaucratic values of equality in public service from the state of the citizens. In its current formulation, this electronic requesting theory doesn't take into account the different types of impact that ICTs can have on bureaucratic organization, which differ like the task performed, the degree of uncertainty, and internal coordination mechanism. While the government literature mainly considers ICT duties to be a linear catalyst for transformation of public sector organization and structures. We believe that more aspects of the properties of technological artifacts can help to better hypothesize the role of ICTs in political reform. The design of a system includes cause and effect relationship as described in technology situations, and at the same time excludes other causal relationships by excluding interdependencies each other in similar situations. Since technology is necessarily designed to perform certain function, the concept of function simplification and closure help main explain what information logic is built into the technology and how operation standardized and thus automation is modeled to allow the technology to perform the function designed for. Functional simplification represents the business logic behind how the technology defines the problem area it applies to and the steps to take to solve that problem area. Functional simplification is the process by which information technology breaks down a task or problem into sets of activities that must be performed sequentially to solve it. The simplified functional definition of technology includes explaining the segments of activities that information technology integrates, implements, and standardizes. As information technology standardizes sequences of activities, it tries to decouple and differentiate activities from the messy and localized areas of the social world to which they will apply. The function closure is then the necessary addition to simplify the function. The process of building technology necessarily involves isolating and processing sequential operation, ensuring that their execution is protected from outside interferences. Alone, taken together, the two concepts are capable of defining information technology in action. The process of building technology through simplification and functional closure has significant consequences for organizational parameters. Indeed, the simplification and closure of function lead to the separation of the operation of the engineering system from the social, organizational, and action process, and also practices carried out by the same time. Once an organization procedure and protocols have been delegated to technology automation, the abstraction that simplifies functionality creates implies that procedures and protocols are to some extent separate from the organizational framework from which they arise. Furthermore, the technology underpinnings for implementing procedures and protocols can be heavily regulated through prescription skill profile specification, requirements, and role formation, which equates information technology with stable management regime and social interaction structure. While technology can represent functional simplification and closure more or less tailored to an organization's needs, These concepts are not quantitative measures. It makes no sense to say that one technology is functionally more simplified than another, because all technologies exhibit different configuration of functional closure and simplification. Simplification in this context doesn't mean simplicity. The simplification and closure of functionality are not directly proportional to the quantification. However, different configuration can be evaluated and compared in terms of performance, as different configuration will work more or less in accordance with the needs of their organization. A case study allows them to construct causal chains related to phenomena of interest and provides powerful device for validating theories in multiple sources of evidence and proof triangulation. To provide the necessary this basis for the analysis, the paper focused on how the local government of Sumedang Regency, Indonesia, designed an ICT platform called e-Office, including ideas presented and discussed in this review. The data collection is based on a number of different sources. We collect data from open-ended qualitative interviews, questionnaires, direct systematic observation, and data mining, as well as secondary data sources. Secondary sources include legal and government documents, technical documents, and public press releases. The objective of the study was to find out how the Smart Village project translates into action through a number of ICT projects and the role technology plays in the success or failure of these projects. In other words, we seek to understand how Sumedang's public administration stacks its bureaucratic principles and streamlines administrative procedures by implementing innovative ICT application-based solutions. We follow a semi-structured interview method, supporting the data collection process by preparing interviews instruction personalized for each interviewee and maintaining a balance between passive and overdue. We have enhanced we have enhanced our understanding by analyzing some essential documents on e-Elvis. Some documents provided to us by management and others gathered from public sources. Among these are four versions of the normative agreement, software update records implemented for e-Office, staff training summaries, application for ministerial awards for innovation in the public sector, citizenship letters, and internal statistics. Finally, to build our argument, we extract the database of queries available on the Office portal. From the initial analysis of the Office case data, a theme emerged that needed clarification. The Office is clearly a successful system that relieves some formerly independent organization and city public relations office of the administrative burden. At the same time, the system has been hailed as a huge success by the authorities, which claim that the public has understood and accepted the technology. The concept of functional simplification and closure is also introduced, taking into account the influence of information technology on the rationalizations of bureaucratic function. A citizen who wants action to be taken about a problem pertaining to the public territory of Sumedang, be it, for instance, flooding wasps, road holes, illegal docking, or swarms of mosquitoes, can issue a maintenance request through a digital platform called e-Office. E-Office was launched in late February 2021 as part of the major project Smart Village in one of the six villages of the Regency Sumedang, and finally extended to the whole city in April 2021. Then the user receives email notification when the request is updated by the organization in charge of the request. When a request is received by the office, the system automatically notifies the responsible organization via email. Some problem classes have more than one organization of preferences, as their solution requires the combined interventions of different actors. However, For every class, there is always one organization that takes on the primary responsibility, while others are assigned secondary responsibility. The secondary responsibility recognizes the interest of that organization in being kept informed about particular kinds of work. The secondary responsibility organizations receive automatic updates from the e-office system. For instance, a request regarding the public parks will be of primary responsibility to the organization in charge of waste treatment, green areas, and water supply, and of secondary responsibility to the local government office for environment conservation. At the core of the e-office system are the e-office rooms. The e-office rooms monitor and coordinate the activity of the whole e-office system. Most prominently, they process the events that are entered in the unclassified field that the system can automatically forward to the competent organization. In these cases, it's the responsibility of the e-office room operator to allocate the case to the correct organization. Similarly, e-office room operators have to deal with cases that are rejected by an organization because they were allocated to the wrong class when the submission was made. The staff in the office room assign controversial submission to the right organization. The office room operator also have the responsibility to delete requests containing offensive content. Finally, the office groups have to sort out every problem which is not dealt with by one specific organization. In a given vacancy, there are seven office rooms. Each office room supervises all the requests concerning their jurisdiction of the regency it belongs to. Operators in the office rooms were trained to standardize the service delivered to citizens by the different organizations. The office room operators had to learn how to coordinate the activities of the different organizations involved in the delivery of solutions and how to allocate all the problems which didn't follow the predefined classes. Regarding the submission process before and after the implementation of the e-office, the document was intended to enable the coordination mechanism imposed by the e-office system, and specifically by the e-office rooms. The agreement recognized that e-office is implemented to improve the collaboration needed to deliver the service duties of the involved organization, and that the organizations commit to cooperate to provide a better public service. Most importantly, the agreement institutionalizes the role and powers of the office rooms. The agreement specifies that a reason must be given for the refusal of any request made by the rooms, that the rooms will receive notifications about all requests, and that a central e-office room should be created to support and coordinate the entire system and carry out the localization assignment of MMS requests. Moreover, the agreement specifies the rules needed for the ultimate assignment of responsibilities by e-office on the submission of a request. During the implementation of the system, some important adjustments had to be made to improve the system performance. Software development before the e-office launch took 2 months. The e-office pilot was launched in the Regency of Wadu, which has 2,500 residents. The office was been updated 10 times in its first 2 years of operation. The updates have added new features to improve the functionalities of the system. The most prominent improvement, which had major effects of the performance of the system, was the careful weighting of the set of problem cases. At the core of the e-office, there is a list of essential problem classes which allow the automatic allocation of the tasks of the responsible organization. Yet, too many requests and forwarded to the office rooms for assessment, as it appears for every request in the unclassified class. The automation of the system is only partial, leading to administrative inefficiency In the management of the organizational process, quickly the pilot project highlighted that some adjustments were in need to make the system sustainable. To reduce the impact of this request, a new category was added to the e-office system in December 2020. E-office adds an extra bureaucratic layer, the e-office room, to mediate the interaction among the different organizations, monitor the process, and stipulate levels of service. The e-office room has also been created to monitor and arbitrate exchange. E-office is designed to support the existing bureaucratic organizations in both their machinery and their professional functions. E-office provides a one-stop shop for the collection of maintenance requests and forwards each problem to the right organization. E-office embeds in its procedural logic the automatic identification of which organizations is responsible for a specific kind of problem in the territory of Sumedang. When citizens submit a request for intervention via e-office, the information is automatically directed to the organizations whose competencies are needed to solve the problem. Similarly, the ultimate localization of maintenance problem feature in e-office is another example of automatic brokerage of bureaucratic negotiations before the implementation of e-office. This segment of the negotiation had to be carried out by the citizen. Then the citizen had to understand the complex task of discovering the office responsible for solving a particular kind of problem. It has reduced the possibility of human error in this discovering the responsible office and reduced the discretion in the handling of the process. E-office led to more homogeneous delivery in public service, reinforcing the bureaucratic principle of standardizations, impartiality, and fairness of the administrative procedures. The e-office rooms are instead a good example of the government solution designed in support of professional bureaucracy. The system turns all classes whose identifications and classification cannot be automated by the e-office structure database to the e-office room. The e-office room creates and exercises new functions of professional bureaucracy. E-office room operators decide what organizations are more suitable for providing solutions to unclassified problems, and to those problems that have been rejected and contested by the organization entirely given responsibility. The brokerage functions of the office room has developed a layer of bureaucratic communication between the organization involved in the project. These organizations have trained and assigned roles to the technology staff to manage their communications with the office rooms, constructing a stable interface to the bureaucratic structure constituted by e-office. In the office room, professional bureaucrats are responsible only for cases that are exceptional and cannot be handled by automated machinery. And the office room enables the office system as a whole to collect and process any kind of request, making the action of the bureaucratic organizations more efficient and effective. The office system provides effective support to the bureaucracy administration by automating the functions of the machinery bureaucracy and by rationalizing and streamlining the work of the professional bureaucracy. In extended bureaucratic responsibilities to technical in extending bureaucratic responsibilities to technical staff distributed in the participating organizations, the office specialties that allocation of problems to competent personnel. Delivering better responses to citizens' requests, they are possible because the developers of the office system have been able to embed in the system a logic of functional simplification and closure that is aligned with the local context of the Sumedang Regency. In the office case, the automation of bureaucratic activities is the result of accurate and specific iteration of the functional simplification and closure adjustment applied through software development efforts. In the office case, most of the organizational activities mediated by bureaucratic procedures such as forwarding of requests to responsible operators, can be automated by information technology because this association is functionally simplified within the logic of the office. The system can automate part of the brokerage function. This adjustment was aimed at reducing the workload of the professional brokerage by reducing the number of requests anticipated that have to be processed by the office room. The automatic resolution of this allocation is the core functional simplification operated by the office system. The ideas we've got delivered in this research provide a strong historical past from which to have a look at how ICT may be used to guide and permit bureaucratic parties in one of governance reforms and services transfer improvements. Still, the e-office machine has brought about redefinitions of the interdependencies among public management office. This is the end result of brand new bureaucratic structure, which supplies public offerings through bureaucratic companies extra correctly with the aid of using automated equipment bureaucratic and assisting the painting of experts from inside the collaborating companies. These new bureaucratic preparations are supported with the aid of using the brokerage overdays of the office machine. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your great attention. Thank you for listening. May all those we have shared be beneficial for all of us. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.